Hey fans, I'm Dustin Davis, and I'll update you on everything happening in Kansas City. The new season was supposed to be a statement, a chance to reassert dominance, to remind the league of a team's staying power, and to showcase the talent that had carried them so far. Instead, the opening week brought more questions than answers. From personal storylines overshadowing the football field to sudden injuries altering the offensive balance, the tone of the campaign shifted before it had barely begun. What should have been a confident display of cohesion instead exposed friction points. A star still searching for rhythm, a roster stretched thin at wide receiver, and swirling speculation about how to patch glaring holes left fans unsettled. Even familiar strengths looked vulnerable under the bright spotlight, creating a sense that nothing could be taken for granted. Now, as the spotlight intensifies, the organization finds itself navigating both the weight of expectations and the reality of immediate challenges. The following developments set the stage for what could become one of the most scrutinized stretches in recent memory. Let's check out everything that's happening in Kansas City in the last few hours. First, my friends, can I ask you a favor? If you like what we're doing here, show your support by clicking the like button. It's a great way to help us. Thank you for your support. And with all that tension off the field, the spotlight shifted quickly to what unfolded under the bright lights in Brazil. Just 10 days earlier, Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce had popped the question to the world's biggest pop star, and she said yes. Yet only 10 days later, Taylor Swift did not make the trip to Brazil to stand beside her soon-to-be husband as he opened what could be his final NFL season. Naturally, Swift's absence is understandable. The Chiefs' season opener against the Los Angeles Chargers was staged in Sao Paulo, at least an 11-hour flight from the United States, even aboard Swift's private Dassault Falcon 7X. And the 35-year-old Shake It Off singer is widely reported to be preoccupied running a business empire valued near $1.6 billion. Still, local broadcasters had teased a special guest for the Sao Paulo fixture, which raised expectations and triggered multiple alleged sightings of Swift across the 23 million-person city, leaving many Brazilian fans disappointed when she did not appear. At the same time, Kelce probably could have used the backing. Despite telling reporters he's been just living life, living on a high since dating Swift, Friday's matchup with the Chargers represented a low moment for the 35-year-old future Hall of Famer. Kelce hauls in redemptive TD pass. Outside of a single bright play, Kelce's night was a mess. As the defending AFC champion Chiefs dropped a 27-21 decision, Kelce suffered the indignity of being slapped by an opponent, accidentally knocking out a teammate in the process, and finishing with just 2 receptions, targeted only 4 times by quarterback Patrick Mahomes. His lone redemption arrived in the third quarter when he converted a 37-yard catch into one of Kansas City's only 2 touchdowns on the evening, a brief spark in an otherwise rough outing. Outside that play, Kelce set the tone early. On the third snap, he ran a crossing route through the middle, just as rookie wideout Xavier Worthy, Kansas City's 2024 first-round pick, ran the identical route in the opposite direction. The two collided violently, sending Worthy sprawling to the turf. The club later announced Worthy had suffered a shoulder injury in the collision and would undergo an MRI on Saturday to assess the extent of the damage. Later, with Los Angeles up 13-6 midway through the third quarter, Kelce tangled with Chargers 6th-year defensive lineman T.R. Tart, who responded by slapping Kelce in or around the face mask, knocking the tight end back a few steps. Tart was not ejected for the blatant slap and, to compound the embarrassment, later taunted Kelce on social media. In the end, Kelce finished with just 47 yards on his 2 catches. He wasn't the only Chief who struggled. 3-time Super Bowl winner Patrick Mahomes was outplayed by Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert, who threw for 318 yards and 3 touchdowns, completing 25 of 34 passes for a 131.7 passer rating compared with Mahomes' 95.5. Yet beyond the struggles on the field, another familiar face sparked conversation just before kickoff. In the midst of the off-field chatter, another storyline caught attention in Sao Paulo. Just before kickoff, cameras spotted Travis Kelce greeting free agent Odell Beckham Jr. on the sidelines, exchanging handshakes alongside Brazilian soccer icon Neymar. The clip, shared widely by the Chiefs, raised eyebrows, especially given Kansas City's sudden shortage at receiver. Beckham, now 32, has remained adamant that his career is not finished despite rumors to the contrary. A false retirement report in August left him furious, prompting a flurry of posts on social media where he insisted not done yet. Thanks for her concerns, and have a blessed day. He warned fans not to prematurely wish him farewell, even threatening to block anyone who did. The three-time Pro Bowler last suited up for the Miami Dolphins in 2024, where he logged only limited snaps and just 55 receiving yards. NFL Network's Tom Pellisario reported in August that Beckham had drawn interest from multiple teams and still planned to play somewhere in 2025, though no official landing spot had emerged. For the Chiefs, his presence was more coincidence than commitment, but it added to the backdrop of speculation, with Worthy already sidelined and Rashee Rice unavailable for the first 6 weeks due to suspension. The timing of Beckham's cameo fed into the narrative of a roster that suddenly looked thin at wideout. Kelce, for his part, seemed intent on keeping the mood upbeat in public. He told reporters he was pumped to play in Brazil and made light of the engagement spotlight, joking, "I got one more ring from it, 2 are for counting the first Super Bowl. Ever since I've been dating Taylor, life has been fun. It's been exciting. Obviously, a lot more eyes, and I accept that. It's just, I'm living life, living on a high."
But the real question emerged after a key injury, when a veteran free agent wasted no time making his pitch. The injury to Worthy in the first quarter immediately changed Kansas City's offensive rhythm. Mahomes was left shuffling targets between Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Tyquan Thornton, and Kelce. Without the speed and dynamism of the rookie, the offense sputtered early, a sluggish first half putting the Chiefs in a hole they couldn't climb out of despite a stronger second half push. As the team absorbed the setback, one NFL veteran made his pitch. "No cap, Chiefs. I'm a free agent. I swear I could help y'all," former Pro Bowler Allen Robinson posted on Twitter. The message was blunt but timely, hinting at his willingness to step in as a temporary solution. Robinson's name carries weight. Known for his candid exchanges online and the physical play style that blends size, separation ability, and yards after catch, he represents a different profile than Kansas City's current options. While he can't replicate Worthy's speed or unique role, his experience could provide stability in a rotation role, a steady pair of hands for Mahomes at a manageable cost without long-term risk once Worthy and Rice return. The Chiefs have endured slow starts before, most recently in their 2023 opener against Detroit, a season that ultimately ended with another Super Bowl victory. But the pattern remains. Missing key pieces early often forces Mahomes and the offense to chase games late. Adding a veteran like Robinson wouldn't solve every issue, yet his edge and physical presence could deliver just enough balance while the roster heals. If Robinson represents the short-term, low-risk solution, other scenarios point to more ambitious moves. With Rice unavailable and Worthy's timeline uncertain, Kansas City could look beyond free agency toward a trade market already shaped by shifting rosters elsewhere. One intriguing option would be Christian Watson of the Green Bay Packers. This remains speculative rather than reported, but the logic is straightforward. After Green Bay's decision to acquire Micah Parsons, the ripple effects could influence how they manage their roster, potentially making Watson expendable. With younger receivers like Matthew Golden and Savion Williams drafted in 2025, the Packers' depth chart has grown crowded. Watson's own status complicates matters. He begins the season on the physically unable to perform list while rehabbing a torn ACL. However, reports suggest he is ahead of schedule in recovery. For Kansas City, that combination of size, speed, and contested catch ability would represent an attractive complement to Mahomes' arm. Acquiring him would not only help fill the current void, but also provide a long-term investment in the offense. And if trades are on the table, the biggest name of all still lingers in the background of every conversation. Even as pragmatic solutions circulate, the biggest question hovers around a familiar name. If Worthy's injury proves serious and with Rice still sidelined, could Kansas City entertain the idea of reuniting with Tyreek Hill? The former Chiefs star, now with the Miami Dolphins, remains one of the most explosive receivers in football. His name has floated in trade speculation for months, fueled by uncertainty over his long-term fit in Miami. Hill still has a year left on his contract with a cap hit reported to exceed $50 million, and the Dolphins' appetite for an extension appears limited. If Miami stumbles early, moving Hill could become a realistic scenario. For Kansas City, the thought of reuniting Mahomes with his most dynamic target is tantalizing, but it comes with major hurdles. The financial commitment alone would force tough decisions, and the Chiefs' front office may prefer to lean on internal depth or more affordable external options before exploring a blockbuster deal. But the whispers persist. With Rice suspended and Worthy's status uncertain, Kansas City's receiving corps is in flux. The Chiefs may ultimately decide that patience is the best course, waiting for their young weapons to return. But if circumstances worsen, the possibility of a bold, headline-grabbing reunion cannot be dismissed.
Well, do you see value in Allen Robinson stepping in as a veteran stopgap? Or is that the kind of move that doesn't move the needle for Kansas City? What are your thoughts on a potential trade for Christian Watson? Is that the kind of forward-looking investment that she should make right now? And finally, the big question. Could you see Tyreek Hill returning to Kansas City, or do the costs and circumstances make that unrealistic? Leave it in the comments. Remember to support the channel, leave your like and subscribe. Don't miss any update, news, or insight about the Chiefs. Always stay ahead. See you soon.